Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ebuyer Live. I hope you're all well. I'm your host today, Beth, and today I'm joined by the lovely Gareth. How are you, Gareth?
I'm great, Beth, and thanks for introducing me as lovely. That's not often the case, but yeah, good to be here. Thanks for having us.
That's okay. So, for anyone who hasn't seen you before, can you just give us a bit of the lowdown of who you are and sort of what you get up to on the daily?
Yeah, so my name's Gareth. Today I am on the other side of the fence. Usually I'm sat where you are, Beth, like in the host seat. So some of you who watch the streams might know me as the host of eBuy Live occasionally. In other news, I'm a business owner. So outside of that, I run a marketing business. And today, because it's about Microsoft 365, which is something that I use an awful lot. I use it every single day. The roles have been reversed, so I'm here to kind of let people know how I use Microsoft 365 and how it's helped me. Really, it's an essential part of my business, so that's what I'm here to kind of help out with today. I hope.
Thank you again for joining us. And so you mentioned Microsoft 365 for business. So what are we going to be sort of going over today then?
So there's a few things. I think first off, it'd be really good for us to dispel a few, not myths, but a few bits around the name change and how Microsoft's changed since I've known it. I used to be an Office 365 subscriber, a Business Premium 365 subscriber, and now it's changed to Microsoft 365. So maybe we could clear up some of that stuff. And then later on, we've got some like stuff I'm going to show you. So we've got some like live demos we want to show business owners. And it's all about like saving people time and money. That's the two things that I'm going to try and focus on with the things I'm going to show later.
Okay, Brill. So for the next sort of 30 minutes, we're going to be talking about Microsoft 365 for more sort of small to medium sized businesses. So make sure if you're watching to sort of get involved with comments or questions for Gareth, especially. He's sort of the know-how guy with stuff like that. So it's your chance to get involved and just ask Gareth any questions. Um, so
Sorry, Beth, I've just seen a question come in. Asking, do I own eBuyer? I definitely don't own eBuyer. I run a marketing business. So yeah, I definitely don't. But thanks for the question. And I see a comment there saying he wishes. Yeah, I do wish I owned a company that size. So if there's any openings, by all means, I'll be happy to come in as the CEO one day.
Um, so we'll get into sort of the general side of Microsoft 365, just to sort of give anyone just an overview of what it does. So what's happened to, you mentioned Microsoft Office. What's happened to Microsoft Office then?
Well, nothing's happened essentially. What Microsoft have done is essentially rebranded and relaunched as a new product. It's got a new name. It's got more benefits, but it's kind of all the same price. So them are like the key bullet points that Microsoft often talk about. As a user, so for example, if anybody's watching who had who had Office 365 or Business Premium is the other package that we talk about an awful lot. You've probably not noticed much unless you've been in there and had a look at the new features. So yeah, not much has happened. Obviously, it looks a little bit different. There's some new features, and there's a lot of added extra things which a lot of people miss out on. And I suppose that's the purpose of the stream. We want to show people some of these great features because for business owners, there's some nice stuff in there that's really helped, I suppose, improve it and build on what was the old Office program. But yeah, everything still
Yeah.
works the same.
Okay. So does it affect many users then? Is this sort of going to affect a lot of people, do you think? Or
No, not at all. I think, like I said, if you're already a subscriber, you wouldn't have noticed anything. The price hasn't changed. The way it functions hasn't changed. You probably just received some type of update in the night without you knowing, and then you've just got some new features. For people who are, I suppose, considering what office package they should get, there's probably a few things we should run up. Slipping off my chair. There's a few things we could run over. Like, for example, when you look at the names, there's a few differences there. One of the packages that I often talk about, and the one that I use was Microsoft Business Premium, and now it's called Business Standard. So there's a slight change there. So just look out for that when you're buying a package. And then with the home and business, it's still called the same thing. So it's just called home and business. So look out for that if you're a business owner.
Well, so shall we get into talking about the first sort of key feature that is in Microsoft 365? It is the dictate and editor features. So can you just explain, because I'm still trying to get my head around the whole dictate part of Microsoft 365. I think it's a really cool tool, but I'm still not 100% on what it does yet, really.
Yeah, so I mean, we talked about this obviously when we thought about what we're going to discuss on this stream. One of the things that I've got a lot of use out of has been specifically editor, but they both work in tandem. Dictate and editor, they sound like some kind of duo, like a cop duo from the 80s, but rest assured they are features within a variety of programs. I tend to use them mostly in Outlook and also Word. And I suppose we'll take them one by one. Essentially, what they do combined is help you write and create more compelling, I suppose, anything really that involves writing. I know you're a copywriter, Beth. So for you, it might not be that good of a tool because you're like heavily skilled in that area. But for someone like myself who struggles quite a lot with spelling, grammar, that kind of thing, they're really useful tools. There's another example that I often talk about. Like, it's not always about your spelling and grammar. For example, dictate, it allows you to do exactly what it says. You dictate whatever you want to say, and then it actually writes it into whatever program you're in. So you don't have to type. Many business owners get into business not being really good typers. A lot of my mates run businesses where it's more manual labor. So for people who, I suppose, struggle with the speed that you need to type at sometimes these days, but also even if you're just out of action for a bit, you might have hurt your arm or something. You might be in a situation where you're in a cast or whatever. That could be pretty serious for some business owners. You can't write emails, you can't write articles, whatever you do or use your typing for. They're the kind of things where I always think, if something like that happened, these two features are the go-to features to save you a lot of time and stress, really.
Yeah, definitely saves time. I think for a lot of people, if you're sort of, I know I've been in this situation, especially with the editor part of the feature. You're trying to find someone to proofread a piece of copy that you've just written and there's no one about to ask. It's such a helpful feature. Just before you send an email, you just know that, at least I know this reads well. At least I know I'm not got any dodgy spelling or anything. So yeah, it's definitely a good feature to have.
Yeah, that's it. And I think, sorry, go on.
No, I'll let you finish because I've got a sort of different question to ask. So you go first anyway.
No, that's cool. Yeah, I was just going to say, like, it's exactly what you've just said is right. We're asked to create so much. And I know we are going to talk about content creation specifically in a short while, but even things like writing a post on Facebook, let's say, it's such an easy thing, especially if you're on a phone or anything like that, just to kind of like make these little mistakes, like little grammatical errors, spelling errors, the kind of things that you do on a day-to-day basis. But if that's not your job and you just want to put out a post, nobody tells you, customers might read it and think, oh, they spelt something wrong there. But the great thing about editor specifically is it's like having someone like a copywriter or like an assistant, let's say, who's going to check over all that for you and just underline and swap a few things out or suggest a few things that you can improve on.
So is it the same dictate feature that you'd see on Windows, for example? Because I've heard of Windows sort of a dictating feature. Is it the same or is it different?
It's similar. So it uses the same technology, if you like. You have got two dictate functions, that's right. So for accessibility, so again, for people who have some kind of permanent disability where they might not be able to use a mouse, let's say, or use a keyboard, you can use dictate within Windows to kind of open things up and move things around, open your emails, for example, get your emails to be read out. But with the feature that's in Word, that really just kind of uses that same technology, but allows you to type inside the document. So I know we'll show in a short second, but there is a slight difference in the two. One is to control your operating system, and the other is to kind of put in text.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, both features just seem they just open a bigger availability for people, mainly with sort of who maybe struggle with writing. So it just seems like a really helpful tool for a lot of people. So did you say, Gareth, that you are going to show us how to use it, or?
Yeah, I'll show you quick. It's so easy to use. We'll switch over in a short second. I just want to shout out to Rick, who's put a comment in there about another service which is very similar, Grammarly. I've used both services. The great thing is, and this is where we're on about saving businesses money. If you're a 365 subscriber with Microsoft, you don't need to subscribe to these other services anymore. And I think there's a few things that we're going to show today that it will save you, them extra subscriptions. You can get free versions, I know that, but with the premium versions, it is a similar system, if you like, to something that you'd actually usually spend a few quid on, on all these services, whether that's, stock photographs, for example, whether that's services like writing, they all help save you time and money if you've just got the one package that does it all.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean it's always nice to get like a package with everything in it, and you don't have to sort of outsource different features like dictate and editor. So yeah, that's a brilliant part of it.
Yeah, I mean we could switch over if you like and have a look at how some of this works.
Brilliant.
So here we are. I've just opened a blank Word document, and to be honest, this demonstration is very straightforward. It's not a difficult one to kind of show. All you have to do is on the home screen, as you can see here in Word. You can, like I said before as well, you can do this in Outlook. I tend to use it in Outlook actually more than Word, but I spur everyone from seeing my emails today, so I thought I'd do it in Word because it's a safer demonstration. You just look out for this, and it's just a microphone. If you hover over it, it tells you it's powered by Microsoft Speech Services, like we talked about earlier, the same services that power dictate in DOS. And you just press it. So I will press it, and then I'll say a sentence. So this is a demonstration of dictate in Word, and as you can see, it's picking up everything I'm saying. Now you can use punctuation, such as full stop, new paragraph, and then when you continue to speak, try it again. So here's a demonstration of me using dictate in Word. As you can see, it's picking up everything I say, and you can use things like punctuation. So if I say full stop, new paragraph, it should pick that up, and then when it stops, everything should be as you expect it to be, full stop.
Wow. It's really responsive, really responsive.
It is, considering I'm using the mic as well to speak to you, it's really good. It's really good.
And
I think
go on,
as a simple
Gareth.
demo, it did that really quickly. That was just something I said just for demonstration purposes. If you've got a lot of things to say, or like I said in Outlook, it's so useful because writing emails, it takes an awful lot of time, especially if you're not a touch typist or typing's not your day-to-day job or career. Just as a general business owner, to go into an email, press dictate, reply to someone, and then kind of send the email, it's really good.
Yeah. I also noticed that it took your northern accent, and it didn't have it. There wasn't any. Do you know what I mean? I think with a lot of different devices, they can be a bit funny about different accents and stuff. But it's picked up your dialect really well.
What are you trying to say, Beth? What are you trying to say about my accent? First you open
You
the
know what I
screen saying
mean?
I'm a nice guy, and now you rip it into my accent. No, it's a good comment, and I think it's been mentioned before. I've not got, I suppose, the thickest of accents. I try my best when I'm on stream to kind of watch what I say or how I say it. But I think the more north you go, generally speaking, in the UK, or even if you go really far down south, places like Yeovil, or really kind of like farmer territory, they kind of call it, out in the country, that can also be quite difficult accent. Up in Scotland, that's another one, like a Glaswegian accent, for example. But yeah, it's a really, really great service that tends to pick up northern accents or non generic accents in the UK. There is a setting you can actually use to do that. So if you just type in speech into Windows, there's this, which is speech recognition. Now, if you use speech recognition, what that'll do is actually improve how Windows and Office interprets the way you speak. So if you say things like that or at instead of that, things like that, which people say in the north, it will start remembering that you're actually saying that. There's another one called speech settings as well. This is really important. If you can use a microphone like I've got on here, or some, I don't know, some like headphones or AirPods, something that's got a microphone built in, it really does improve the way. And as you can see, I've ticked this little box here which says recognize non-native accents for this language. And I know a lot of people will be saying Manchester is definitely a native accent, but over in the States, not many people have heard of Manchester. So tick that box if you're not from London. That's a good tip, good extra tip.
So with the editor part of the feature, how is that? Is that easy to use, or is it a bit more complicated than dictate, or?
No, I mean, not many features in Office, unless you're in Excel, are that difficult. I think Excel's it's a class of its own for people who use that. But it's really simple. I mean, you picked up before that this is actually really very accurate, and it puts in the correct punctuation and grammar and things like that. So generally speaking, when you tend to use dictate, it's not often that you need to use editor. So I suppose to show you that, I'll bring up a different example. I've got like a blog copy here that I pulled down earlier. Now there's some bits in here that are quite obvious, I suppose, to anyone. For example, you can see here I've got the, which obviously isn't right, and just general spell check has picked that up. But for other things, like readability or just more in-depth kind of grammar, you can use editor. It's just right next to dictate, so really easy to find, and it's on the home screen of most of the programs in Microsoft 365. And when you click that, it brings up this little kind of menu here. It tells you at the top you've got like the total suggestions for how many errors there are or how many suggestions it's got for you. And then it's got kind of like a breakdown. Now, most of it is quite good, which is nice to see, because this is taken from a blog which has been published. So I'm hoping that things like the clarity and punctuation would be generally quite good. But as you can see, it's even picked up some extra bits. So all you have to do is click on any of these things. Now, we'll leave the spelling for now because they're usually pretty obvious, but things like the grammar, it takes you to the actual sentence like it's got here, and it also gives you suggestions. Now, if this was a larger blog, let's say, sometimes there can be thousands of words. You'll find that there's sometimes quite a few of these, and there's different suggestions for each one. So to do it, you literally just click on it. So if you like it, you just click the change, and it goes on to the next one. As you can see here, it's picked up a comma missing. Click on that. It's picked up styles, and it's just really intuitive. It doesn't take a genius to kind of figure out how to use it. Just being aware of having this inside the package is really what we're talking about today, because people who have got these third-party pieces of software might not know this exists. So hopefully it saves people a bit of time and a bit of money as well. If they're paying for other services, you might already have it as part of your package.
Yeah, definitely. That feature in particular, the editor, that would be a game changer for someone like me, who is constantly bugging co-workers to sort of proofread my work. So that's a really cracking feature, that actually.
Well, yeah, I mean,
really
if you get some copy sent to
well.
you that's a little bit off, you can just run it through this and then read it.
Yeah,
it's going to half the amount of time you spend. There's one here that's just come up, conciseness. You see, that's something outside of just your general kind of spelling check. That's what a lot of people compare this to, but it is a lot deeper than that. And you mentioned before, it uses AI technology. It's a really important point. One of the big differences between your kind of perpetual licensing, as it's referred to, or the kind of like home and business would be an example of that. You get these AI features included in programs like Microsoft 365, which are constantly updated and improved on. Mm-hmm. There we go. We finished. That was nice and easy, wasn't it?
If you guys have just tuned in, we're currently talking about the Microsoft 365 for business, and I'm joined by Gareth, who is our sort of tech-savvy business owner, running us through all the amazing features that I didn't really know existed, to be honest. So did you want to... Right, okay, so this is sort of my area-ish of expertise. Content creation. So as you mentioned earlier, Gareth, I'm a copywriter, and I'm sort of always, just collaborating, that's the word, with people in my team, just on different projects, different writing projects that we're working on. Why is the premium content in Microsoft 365 so vital for someone in my position, for example, who's always writing, basically?
Yeah, I mean, I think content creation in general is just a massive topic for anyone, any business. Like I've got a mate who's a builder, and he got on to me a couple of years ago because he knows what kind of business I've got, and he was asking me advice on, content creation. Like, what can I do? I'm a builder. Do people really want to see how I build a house? And I was like, yeah, that's whatever business you're in, creating content, putting it out there, whether that's in text format or images or video, really important. So any business or any business owner watching this should start getting on that, start creating content, because you'd be surprised what people are interested in seeing. But where premium content in Microsoft 365 comes in is there's a massive library, like reams of stuff that is completely accessible. It's all built into the service. And as long as you've got an internet connection, essentially, you can access all this stuff at a few clicks at a button. And again, to go back to like these services that you can subscribe to, I've subscribed to all of them because I've been a designer as well in a previous role. And during that time, I had to use all these different stock services, whether it's for photographs, images, graphics, whatever. It's all included. So generally speaking, you're going to save yourself a load of time. It's going to look more professional whenever you create anything. And it's all like included in the copyright licensing as part of your business license with Microsoft. So it ticks a lot of boxes for me, and it can help a lot of businesses, whether you're creating content right now or you just want to improve the content that you've already got.
Yeah, definitely. So it we were talking earlier about how I remember sort of like mid early 2000s clip art that you'd be using in projects and stuff like that. And it definitely elevates, the premium content that you get now, it definitely levels up from that, I think. It gives that just more of a professional looking feel, I think.
Can you get much better than clip art? The 90s were glorious. They were glorious for many reasons, and clip art is definitely one of them. I fondly remember making some beautiful masterpieces, but you are right there, Beth. I think we have come on a little bit since clip art, even though it did have its heyday. And this is definitely not clip art for anybody out there who's thinking, is he just saying clip art still exists? No, I'm not. I'm not. This is much better, and we're going to show you in a short second as well.
So what elements are there? So we were talking about like, oh, it's a level up from clip art. What else? What else do you get? Is it just images, or is there?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I'll show you if you want. So we can bring up we can switch over to the demo screen. There's a ton of stuff. There's actually more than I thought. I was checking it out again the other day to look for some different graphics, and there's actually an awful lot. Now, I'm going to open it up in PowerPoint. You can do this in Word. I think that's just been a recent update to Microsoft 365. But yeah, it's, again, a really simple thing to do. But if you didn't know it was there, it's one of them things that can easily go missed because it's just tucked away in one of the settings. So one of the other things that you might not have noticed as well, to people who've never seen, I suppose, the modern version of PowerPoint, is instantly, before I've even typed anything, you can see on the right, we've got design ideas. This is so good. Like, if you're not a designer and you can't be bothered kind of creating a unique look and feel to everything that you do, you can literally just click on one of these. So for example, if I click this one, it's already set up a more interesting looking slide before we've even started inserting anything. So design ideas is another feature which is a little bit older now, but something that's really useful. We can just call this, what should we do a presentation about, Beth? What is it we're focusing on today?
I liked our conversation about clip art, nostalgic clip art. That would be quite cool. But yeah.
There we go. A bit more of an aggressive take on that. So we're creating our new presentation. Literally, all you have to do is go to Insert, and then, as you can see here, you've got pictures, which most people would have seen, and you go to Stock Images, and as it says there, unleash your imagination with premium content from the stock image library. So you just click on that, and then you've got these different options here at the top. So as you can see, you've got stock images, which it's just a huge library. You've got some popular selections here at the top, but then you can filter that. So for example, if it was about business or learning, that's probably quite a good one if we're talking about clip art. You've got all these different images. So you can go through, have a look, see which image you like the look of, click it and insert it. Now, another way to do it, which is my favorite way, is just search. So as you can see here, let's see if there is anything for clip art. That'd be weird. No, there's not going to be, is there? I don't know what that is. But if you want to do something like, I don't know, let's put learning again, because I think that's more relevant to what we're doing. You could put something in like this, or we did put deaf, didn't we? Is there any suggestions from chat? Maybe we can search for something from chat. This is quite sinister. So we can put something in like deadlift. I see why it's brought that one up. So you can use all this, and whatever you search for, you kind of just click on it and insert it, and then it'll put it straight in. Now, the good thing is the AI technology built into PowerPoint is now picking up the fact that I've put a new image in. and it'll come up with even more design ideas. So as you can see here now, it's making a mixture, a really weird mixture of some of this artwork that I've put together. So for example, if I wanted this one here, which is quite nice, I click on that, and then it just inserts. I'll just go through them one more time because I know there was some that we missed out on. So yeah, just to answer your question that you asked earlier, we've got stock images, you've got icons, and I'm a massive fan of icons. I've got to say, I'm a bit of an icon nerd. I don't know about you, Beth, but icons excite me. So it's that I am.
No, these ones look really cool actually. They're a bit more. They've got a bit more of a modern look to them, I think, rather than sort of old school symbols. So
yeah, they are. They're really modern, and you've got them in different formats as well. So you've got like thick outlined ones, and you've got the thin drawing version of it. They're all completely customizable, so you can insert things like that. You've got cutout. Now this is one that I usually have the most fun with, and this is the one that I didn't realize existed till the other week. I just find these hilarious. I don't know about you, but I like using them because you can really kind of bring something to life in a new way. Like you can have all sorts of different people. So you could put like this woman in who looks quite worried that clip art is now dead, and it just brings a different kind of feeling to a presentation when you've got these kind of really high res, super high quality images in your presentation. There we go. We're getting a bit more moody now. She looks a little bit upset. The snake's even involved. He's as upset about the death of clip art as this woman is. So as you can see, we're already making a more entertaining presentation than what we had a few clicks ago.
Oh, bro. What I really like about that is I'm in no way a graphic designer or anything graphic at all, really. I've got as much graphic design history in me than nothing really. I can't deal with it, but it looks so easy to use. Like anyone could really just jazz up the presentation or a Word document even, and I really like that about
it. Yeah, it is true. Anyone can use it, and for anybody with no artistic background, it's really useful. Now, I did see a comment there about somebody who is never named anymore in the Microsoft community. That is Clippy. And I've just inserted a version of. Do you remember Clippy, Beth? Do you know who Clippy is?
The paperclip guy.
Would
pop up with them. I see you having trouble with whatever.
Yeah, the paperclip guy.
Yes.
So here he is. Here's a very crude version of him. Maybe we'll just put him there like that. So yeah, we don't have Clippy, unfortunately, Rick, but we do have a paperclip. So hopefully that's usable. We can put some eyes on him if that makes it a little bit more real. If you like.
Yeah.
I think we should put some eyes on him.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's do that. I'm going to put a line for this eye so he looks like he's asleep. That can be his mouth. We put that there. And then we could insert maybe some eyes. Let's see if there's any eyes. Oh, there's no eyes, unfortunately. Icon eyes, maybe. There we go. Clippy's alive again. Just move them around. And as you can see, it's really intuitive. It's not difficult at all to kind of resize stuff. You just kind of use the boxes that you're familiar with. If you double click on stuff, just close that down. If you double click on things like this here, and then go to design, or home, should I say, you can actually change the kind of color of things as well. So as you can see, you can just kind of change the color of that and just move them around wherever you want. And as you can see, Clippy, even though his mouth's not changed, I'll change his mouth color as well so it matches, is back alive. So I hope the Ebuyer audience like the fact that we've just brought Clippy back to life. Sorry to
Love
railroad the stream. I thought that was an important feature to show.
No,
We've got to
definitely.
keep people. And the one that I did skim over as well is you can insert stock images as well. You can insert stickers from stock images. So like we've got here, we've got these kind of like different characters. These are quite fun for social posts and things like that. So, you can get these in. This guy in stark contrast finds it absolutely hilarious. That I'm going to change this. Shouldn't have done that, but there we go. Clippy is dead. The woman and the snake find it very depressing, but as we can see, the bee is actually enjoying it. So poor Clipper.
Bro, love that. That is A. For anyone just joining us who is just sort of wondering what is all that about, Gareth was just demoing for us the premium content that you get with Microsoft 365 for Business. And he killed Clippy, basically. So that was what that was about.
Correction, Beth. I didn't kill Clippy. Clippy was
Oh, no.
killed a long time ago, not by me. I just announced the fact that he's dead.
Make sure you get involved with the stream if you've got any questions for Gareth, Clippy related or not Clippy related, obviously.
Maybe not.
And make sure you share the stream as well. So again, another area where I feel like I can relate. Virtual meetings, Gareth. I feel like our everyday lives are now revolved around virtual meetings. I, for one, either it's for work or, meeting up with friends who maybe live really far away and I've just not been able to see them. Incorporate a few drinking games into virtual meetings is always a good way to spice it up. But I feel like with work-related meetings, they can get a little bit stale. Is that the right word to use? I don't know. So what's the deal with virtual meetings with Microsoft Teams?
Yeah, just seeing a quote. Ebuyer's just posted in there. You're on mute. A lot of people say that. It is so true. Like you can play a game of BS Bingo if you like on most conference calls. I find these days. Are you seeing my screen? Is that coming through? You're on mute. All these kind of things. Just part of our day-to-day conversations now. And I think even businesses that had never been on. I'm actually looking at chat, and I think like Paul's just put. I can only see the top half of your head. And I was thinking that's our producer, Liam, saying to me, I can. Anyway, I'm getting confused. But yeah, it's so true. Like, I think a really good example I often think back to is when there's like something that's in the calendar all the time. It becomes such a formality, let's say, just to be on that call, that you just see people joining and they're kind of like distant. There's a lot of people joining conference calls now in, I'd say, less traditional areas. So you might join a conference call in your spare bedroom where that never used to happen before. So there's been a lot of, I suppose, different things happening on conference calls over the last few weeks. Cats appear on pretty much every other conference call I'm on. And these are quite nice surprises. But generally speaking, I'd say at least 50 to 60% of the calls that I go on tend to be your generic kind of bland, you said stale, yeah, stale kind of conference calls. So I think there's ways we can mix it up. There's ways that business owners, especially if you're having a meeting for the first time, can maybe jazz up a conference call or that first meeting to make it a little bit more real, a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more captivating than just your general chit chat.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's always that worry when you've got a virtual meeting, and you're like, oh God, the house is a state. Background looks awful. It just looks, So yeah, and it also breaks the ice. I feel when you've got just a funky background going on. I do feel like it breaks the ice, especially when you're having meetings with people you don't really know very well, and you just want to give that relaxed impression. I think it's a really good way to go, actually.
Yeah, that's the thing. Your first meetings are often quite important, and generally speaking, most business owners that do that face to face, it's a really hard hurdle to overcome. But there's general tips. Make sure you're well lit. Make sure your camera's at like eye height so you can kind of make good eye contact. They'll all help. But to kind of elevate it a little bit more, there's some really cool stuff in Microsoft Teams. For people who don't know, Microsoft Teams is like a package which is included within Microsoft 365. It's something that a lot of business owners might not click on because they don't know what it is. Just give it a go. I think I use it 90% of the day, I'd say, is on Microsoft Teams. So it's a massively important app for us in my company. And I think, like most, I suppose, web-based services, video conference services, it does your general video calls, you can do group calls, you can do all that kind of stuff. But there is some really cool new updates in there that I thought we'd show, because it definitely helps add a little bit more spice to a conference call, let's put it that way.
Yeah, definitely. So we talked about, is it easy to use? So say someone maybe not used to using Microsoft Teams to host meetings. Is it easy to set up a meeting on Microsoft Teams?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's like everything Microsoft does, it's fully integrated into things like Outlook. So it goes straight into your calendar. You don't have to kind of worry about any of that stuff. So yeah, just set up a call or a meeting, just like you would in Outlook. And then it usually has a button at the top on your bar which says, make this a Microsoft Teams meeting. Just press that. And that's it, pretty much. What that'll do is then send the person a link that they can join on their phone or on a PC or tablet, whatever they've got. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is kind of like, there's so much to talk about Microsoft Teams. Like, it's not just a video conferencing bit of software. There's a whole load of other stuff that we can talk about, but we're not going to go into that just on this stream, because I think that'll need a dedicated hour just to scratch the surface, because it's such a huge and brilliant program for collaboration, for file storage, sharing. There's loads of apps and plugins you can put in as well, from project management tools right down to just fun games. But yeah, from the video conference side, super simple. A few clicks, you can set up a call. And then, yeah, once you're in a call, there's some features which we'll show in a short second, which will help with breaking this monotony, which is conference calls.
So are we ready to have a look at, how to use a video call, how to set up a call background and stuff? Or
yeah, we'll bring up the video that we had earlier, because we can't really show exactly what we can't show it live, because we're using the technology right now to kind of do this. So yeah, let's bring up the video that we did earlier, and we'll walk you through what's happening, because it's quite hard to, I suppose, understand. So as you can see, I'm just kind of selecting my backgrounds here. As you can see, it's kind of like filtering out what's behind me. So it uses AI. Now you can upload custom ones like I've done here. So this one's like a powerlifting one, which I kind of found in premium content. So then when you open a conference call, I think you and Liam were chatting earlier, and I kind of jumped in with my powerlifting. Liam found it quite funny. The funny fact is, I can't lift myself up in real life, so that's why he was laughing, I think. And it just kind of breaks the norm, doesn't it? I think something like this is a little bit of fun. Everybody can do it, so anybody who's on the call can then show what they want to share with the rest of the team. I know you and Liam changed your backgrounds as well. You went for some kind of like magical stardust, something like that, or nebula. And I forgot what Liam went for. No doubt he went for something related to gaming, because that's what he's interested in.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, he did. It's a bit of personality, isn't it? It shows you that you're not taking yourself too seriously. It also shows you can put whatever you want in the background. It doesn't have to be one of the selected ones that Microsoft provide. But if we just show that video one more time, I'll explain how you actually do it. So here you are in the call. You've got 3 options at the bottom where you can edit things, but the main one is this option here, where you can turn on your camera. And then once you've done so, you see my regular background, which we've got right now. You press this button here, and it actually gives you a selection of backgrounds. The blurred one's quite cool. We didn't mention that. That's really useful if you've got kids, family, pets, or something that you don't want to show people going on in the background. It just blurs it out, makes it look more professional. Really good if you're in like working remotely. Let's say you're in a train station or something like that. But yeah, I cycled through and I decided on the powerlifting one, or the pull-ups one, should I say, because I thought that would be quite entertaining when we jumped in. So yeah, have a bit of fun, ladies and gents, on conference calls. It's not all about being serious. Sometimes you can break things up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I do think it helps to just, I think, bring people out of their shells a bit more. And I think, you know, with everyone working sort of here, there and everywhere, I think it just, you know, lightens the situation, I think, a lot. And I think they're a good way to go, actually.
Depending on the call, you know, I don't think I'd go on to like a financial report call doing what I did on hours. I don't think that'd go down too well, but maybe, you know, open with something else. You know, there's so many things to choose from. There's so many different kind of backgrounds. And I'm going to give you an extra tip. Now, I was going to put these in chat, but I've not got them ready, so apologies to the viewers. But yeah, one tip that I found out earlier when we were doing ours is if you don't like the standard look of some of the backgrounds that are in Microsoft Teams or anything like that, go into premium content, like I showed you earlier. If you right-click on, once you've imported the images you like the look of, if you right-click on them, you can save them as images to your desktop. And that's how I got the armbar image up. Was I just took it from premium content, and I thought that'd be quite a useful one. So then I just saved it, and then that kind of selection you've got there, you can literally just kind of select whatever you want. I think we just brought it up one more time there. So it'll just populate anything on your PC. So anything you see, like you can see there, you can just select it. So the world is your oyster when creating stuff like that. So have a bit of fun and share some with us as well. I think that'd be quite cool. Send some in to Ebuyer, or send them into the comments on chat. What kind of pictures? Not all the pictures, because I know what some of you guys are like, but, you know, just the clean ones. Just send them in, and it'd be really fun to see what you're using for your conference calls.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like easy is the word of the day for me, but it does look really easy. It doesn't look super complicated to just, you know, put a bit more personality into your video calls. And I think that's really ace, actually.
Rick Kramer in chat said, I need to change mine to the background of a prison cell. That would also be quite a useful one. Hopefully, Rick, that's not because that's where you are currently, but, you know, each to their own, I guess. You know, I think I don't really need to do that. I think a lot of people have said I look like I'm in a bunker or some type of prison cell. But yeah, that's the style I've gone for in my office.
Oh, well, thank you for showing us those wonderful, powerlifting moves. And
no problem.
So I think that's everything for today. So thank you everyone for tuning in. And if you're just catching us, you can always watch this video later on if you missed anything and you want us to go over it again. Make sure you keep sending us your questions. And thank you so much, Gareth, for keeping me company today, and for showing us the ropes of Microsoft 365. I think it's just nice to know how it will support your business depending on whatever job you're doing. So if you're writing or creating content, or even, I guess, just like spicing up a meeting, it's just so nice to see how easy it is to integrate that. So yeah, thank you, Gareth, for joining us.
No, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having us. It's been a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed it.
So Gareth, if people want to get any more information, where should they be going?
There's quite a lot of places you can go to. I think eBuyer's done a great job of creating a landing page for a lot of this stuff. I know we didn't get onto the different packages and different kind of versions you've got. Just to briefly skim over that, there's a really nice landing page that you can click on. It's got all that information. So if you're interested in getting something like Microsoft Home and Business, which is probably the more traditional way of getting Office on your PC, let's say, that's there. And there's also a really nice side by side comparison between the two. So that's one place I'd go and check out. We'll put that into the comments for you to click on and access. And then generally speaking, just reach out to eBuyer. They've always helped us as a business if we've needed anything. So you can reach out on the email address, which is business@ebuyer.com, or give them a call. The number is 01430 433 780. And again, we'll put that all in chat so it makes it super simple for everybody watching.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Gareth, for that. And yeah, thank again for everyone for joining us today. And yeah, we hope it's been interesting. I've definitely learned a lot about Microsoft 365, which I didn't know before. So thank you, Gareth, again. And yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone.
Cheers, guys.